black magic. But who would want to use black magic to dig up these ponies?
What's wrong, Thinker? Don't you like the new look? I certainly do. After all, it's my own design. Don't bother getting up, my suit has the strength of 10 men within it, and if you don't do exactly what I say, then I will crush your head like a walnut with my bare hands. Your negativity and mean-spiritedness will end now as it should have many months ago. You may have defeated me once, Thinker, but it seems that with every defeat I get stronger. Your crimes against humanity will not go unpunished. Forcing me to stare into the fires of hell with those modern SpongeBob episodes. I should do the same to you, but I feel I am much more merciful than that.
Just go away. Leave me alone.
I'm afraid it cannot be that easy, Thinker. There is a saying that some used to describe a situation like this. I believe it's what goes around comes around, and your coming around has long been overdue. That is, you are coming over to the brony side.
No matter what you do, I will never become a brony.
Relax. I'm not going to force you to become a brony, but whether you become one after this is an entirely different story. I'm taking the path of least resistance, and with you incapacitated, it should be pretty easy to ask this one thing of you. Ha ha ha. Actually, I guess it's not so much asking but rather commanding you to do this. Excellent. You are going to review the entire series of My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic.
You're kidding me, right?
Not at all. In fact, I plan to help you on this magical journey by injecting you with all 5 seasons of My Little Pony.
You wouldn't dare. So yeah, I watched this show. Now, what is this show? If you've been living under a rock for over 30 years, this is My Little Pony. Now, what is My Little Pony? My Little Pony is a show that's marketed to little girls that focuses on the adventures of a group, usually referred to as the Main Six, as they go around and try to solve their own problems and other problems. It's currently in its 5th season with a mighty 104 episodes under its belt, and yes, I watched all of them. So, what do I think of this show? Well, I'm not gonna lie, I sort of enjoyed the show.
Jeremy! You fucking piece of shit! What the hell are you talking about? God damn it! Fucking piece of shit, God!
Well, I mean, what did you exactly expect? It's a show for little girls that has colorful characters, very simple plot lines, and overall very modest production levels. I mean, sure, at worst it's extremely boring with some rancid morals, but at best it's actually genuinely exciting with some great music. I feel as if we're all a little too eager to connect this show with the community surrounding it. And if you look at it like that, with all that pressure on it, then yeah, I can see why some would see it as offensive. Outside of that, however, it's an above average TV show that doesn't try to be more than what it is. For the most part. Let's start off with the characters. You have Twilight Sparkle, the normal one of the bunch, Pinkie Pie, the one doped up on crack, Rarity, a stuck-up bitch with a fetish for clothing, Applejack, the backwater incestual hick, Fluttershy, the zoophiliac, and finally Rainbow Dash, the one who's 20% cooler! Now, to be fair, that is all in good fun, and if there's one thing the show truly excels at, it's its characters. Are they oversimplified? Yeah. Are they essentially stereotypes? Yeah. But they are all recognizable and are essentially given the same amount of time on screen. Even though a generous amount of time is given to the most stable of the bunch, Twilight Sparkle, there are episodes that revolve exclusively around the other ponies. This allows them to build their characters and allows us as the viewers a constant change of pace from pony to pony. This allows practically anyone to get into the show because you're bound to get a kick out of at least one of them. Now normally I would call this pandering, and rightfully so, but because all of them are given essentially the same amount of time on screen, like I said before, that really kind of defeats that point for me. The animation is generally also very good. The characters are very expressive, smoothly animated, and fun to look at. There's a large variety of locations the show uses, and each one is distinct and bright and colorful. Even in areas where the tone takes on a much darker theme, they still manage to look like it's full of life and action. Speaking of action, actions like flying or running are also handled very well. My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic is a very nice show to look at. I'm not one to go crazy over cute things, but this show manages to be cute without forcing itself in your face. Well, except for the babies. Although it took them until season 4 to introduce us to the idea of an overarching plotline with the 5 keys, the episodes are usually self-fulfilling, straightforward, and self-contained. Now there is an issue I'll bring up later regarding the structure of the episodes, but in general they feel like the perfect length. 22 minutes isn't unreasonable. However, when they do waste that time, like on 7 songs, it does become noticeable very quickly. And can I say that I'm glad that this show seems to be the only show that actually gives a fuck about ending its episodes on a solid note? It seems that with every cartoon I've watched in the past 5 years, they just throw up their hands and pretend it's not their job to actually conclude their episodes because hey, fuck it, we'll just resume from the normal continuity next time anyways. It's lazy and it's cheap. Thank God this show doesn't do that. There are some times where the continuity does get a bit scrambled, like Fluttershy losing all of her confidence after the episode puts her hoof down, but these are very minor mistakes and they never hurt my enjoyment of the episodes. I'm not usually a fan of musicals, and to be honest, this one especially makes me cringe because of its subject matter, but they are well put together and do usually progress the plot, so I guess I can let them pass. One thing I will say I don't like about these music videos that really has nothing to do with them is that they have inspired a generation of pony music videos where people take clips from the show and put it to music. And it's always fucking dubstep. What the fuck is going on with my screen? Well, if all these losers want to make a PMB, I want to make one too. This show is not perfect though. It has many flaws that come up either due to its intended age demographic or just laziness. Take, for example, the piss-poor handling of the exposition. Exposition is, by definition, a comprehensive description of an idea or theory. In movies or TV shows, this usually refers to plot points or other events that need to be told to the viewer to help them fill in the gaps between what they know and what the character knows. How does My Little Pony handle its exposition?
Mouse here! Please be a yes, please be a yes, please be a yes! Yes! She can make it, she can make it!
Going out on a limb here, but I'm guessing that Princess Cadence said she can come this weekend!
I'm finally gonna get to spend some quality time with my sister-in-law.
Boy, howdy. I got my work cut out for me. That there is the biggest bumper crop of apples I ever laid eyes on.
Yep. Too big for you to handle on your own.
Nice, that's how you do it. Just explain it to us like a 5-year-old girl. In a good cartoon like Courage the Cowardly Dog, they don't have to do that. But it seems with My Little Pony, at least every other episode has to explain exactly what they are going to do within the show. It's really strange because once they get past the initial exposition, they generally do a good job at showing us the major plot details and not just explaining them to us afterwards. So why they refuse to shake off this annoying habit would most likely come down to either time constraints or laziness. Some of the animation is really off too. The ponies themselves look fine and each of them are recognizable enough to be sold in your neighborhood Walmart, but other aspects of the animation are just bad. Take this background in Sweet Apple Acres. Can you tell me what the hell this is? You'd probably say it's a tree. Well then, why does a tree look like a bunch of random blobs put together? Look, I'm not dumb. I know animation takes a lot of time and effort to actually pull through, but when I can take this exact same thing and pull it off in MS Paint, we have a problem. And oh my god, those pointless characters. My god, what were you guys thinking? Spike sucks, the Kingdom Hearts Crusaders suck. They aren't funny, they aren't entertaining, and they sure as hell aren't clever. Let me get this out of the way right now. I hate kids. They're loud, they dress up in ridiculous outfits, and they have the most high-pitched and annoying voices that could ever pierce your eardrums. So having entire episodes, 22 minutes mind you, centered around these little screwballs isn't my cup of tea. The main problems with the Kingdom Hearts Crusader episodes stem from that one fact. Just because they're kids, the writers think it's okay to shove in bland, one-dimensional bully characters because they are kids. They also think it's okay to put these kids in situations which are somehow both over the top and boring at the same time. Do you know how these aren't good episodes? Ask yourself this. If Hasbro decided to make a spin-off show separating the Kingdom Hearts Crusaders from the main series, how long do you think it would last? A season or two at most? And the Spike episodes? Just no. Spike is the most annoying character I have ever seen in my entire life. Hands down. Why? Because unlike with the Kingdom Hearts Crusaders, who usually have a main pony or something to keep me awake, most of the time with Spike, he's by himself or with some animals that can't even speak English. Like Owlicious, a character whose entire purpose is to make Spike jealous for one entire episode. Oh, and so they can make this great joke a couple hundred times.
Hi there. I'm Spike. I'm sure Twilight has told you all about me. Spike, you know, sister number one.
Now, taking in all of that, I know it sounds like I have a generally negative reaction to the show, but I really don't. If I were to give this show a score, I'd give it like a 7 out of 10. It's entertaining enough that I'd be able to watch it without wanting to kill myself, but it really just feels like an above-average kids show. The animation is nice, the plot lines are easy to follow and are nicely tied up, and the characters, for the most part, are fun and interesting to watch. But I'm just not into this sort of kid-friendly fluff anymore. There isn't enough drama or dark themes to really make me entirely invest myself into the show. And while that might be okay for someone like Lewis who prefers cartoons over live-action shows, I'm a guy who loves House MD, so you can really tell where I'm coming from here. Am I a fan of the show? Sure. I'd never go out of my way to watch it, but I call myself a fan. Am I a brony? Hell no! And that's all I'm gonna be saying on that. Thank you all for watching. That's been My Little Pony Friendship is Magic series review. I've been the Self-Contained Thinker, and I hope you will have a wonderful day.
Oh, Thinker, you cannot say that you are a fan of the show and yet deny that you are a brony. For how could you, a teenage male, get around the fact that such a masterpiece of a show has delved its way into your life?
Please, it's not a masterpiece. Far from it.
Really now? Maybe your mind will be a little more at rest when you review the 2 feature-length movies that were spun from the show.
Now we both know that's not happening.
Oh, it's fine. I never intended for you to become a brony anyways. Such a status is clearly much too high for such a specimen as you. No, I think this becoming your swan song will be a much more fitting act of redemption for you. I think it's time to end this. Rainbow Dash?